Hello, Miami. This is 305 Sports Now, your home podcast and channel for all things Miami sports related. I am Will, and today I'm bringing you another recruiting segment here on 305 Sports Now, and I want to talk about a kid that is flying under the radar, that at the local level, we are talking about him, but at the national level, he seems to be someone that people have forgotten, and his name is A.J. Hairston. A.J. Hairston is the junior quarterback out of Monarch Senior High School over here in South Florida. And AJ is a big kid, all right? He's 6'3", 233 pounds, but he's flying under the radar. He's got fantastic numbers in 12 games played this past season, including a district title, by the way. He threw the ball 287 times, had 195 completions. That is a 68% completion percentage, threw for over 3,200 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. Okay, so the kid does not turn the ball over. He's got good placement, and he throws touchdowns as well. So it is fantastic to hear about a local product do so well in a local setting and starting to get a little bit more recognition, from the major schools. And I'll get into that in a minute. He is a multi-sport athlete as well. AJ not only played football, he also played basketball. He was a forward and a center for Monarch Senior High School. He also played baseball for JV as a pitcher and also as an outfielder. I like pitchers as pretty much as quarterbacks, as we know from Tyler Van Dyke, because when they throw the football, they tend to throw it with a bit more accuracy in particular than maybe just somebody who might be just a pure football player or played another sport alongside of football. The reason why I say that is because as a pitcher, one of the things you want to do as a pitcher is make sure you place the ball in the correct spot so you don't get pretty much jacked up, by the hitter. So as far as being a quarterback goes, the one thing I do like about AJ, looking at his huddle, looking at his film, is that when he throws the football, he's able to fit it into tight coverages. Why? Because he wants to be as accurate as possible and make sure that he throws it in the right spot. And his receiver is also able, when he can, do something with the football as well. So that's one thing I did notice in regards to the film. Dual threat, all right? He's not just a thrower. He is also a runner. He is a guy that could extend plays with his legs, and you can also use them in running packages as well. So he's not a one-read guy. If he has to, he will look through his progressions and throw it to the best available receiver in which, he finds the opportunity to do so. So that is one thing that is very important in college football today, as we are in college football in a pass-heavy environment, to say the least. The only knock I will say on him, and it's not much of a knock, is that if I was to rate his arm strength, it'd be about a 7 out of 10. Although he can throw the ball far, okay, he does play outfield and he's a pitcher, I did notice that he did underthrow several of his receivers, okay? So that is something that he could work on in terms of timing, or he could probably develop a bit more arm strength as he's entering his senior year and before he gets into his freshman year. But if he was to enter currently as a freshman at the University of Miami, he'd be the one with the least amount of arm strength. Ja'Curry Brown, Emory Williams, and Judd Anderson all have bigger arms, okay? But he is really, really accurate, and he does, understand, defenses as well. From what I saw, in the videos before I did this podcast. One thing I will say about him is that although he's flying on the radar, he has taken some visits. He has visited Miami, and according to 247 Sports, who didn't even give him a star rating, to be frank with you, there's no composites on this kid at all, or even a picture of him, on their website. They do have him, pretty much going to Miami, but he has taken visits, per what I've seen online, to Florida State and also Louisville as well. So Miami, if they really want this kid, they're really going to have to do some recruiting to fend those schools off, because they are trying to, convince him to go to their university and improve their program. Why is he not getting the recognition? I feel it's because there might be a bit of a Florida bias in regards to quarterbacking. Florida's not known for its production of quarterbacks. As most of, I could even use the University of Miami as an example. A lot of our quarterbacks that have been successful on this football team have been from out of state. Okay, so schools like California, schools like Minnesota, schools like Pittsburgh, and schools in Pittsburgh tend to produce, better quarterbacks, or at least more recognizable quarterbacks, or at least quarterbacks that have built a legacy, even in the University of Miami, than actual Florida itself. So that's where I think, there's a bit of we're not looking at this kid because he's from Florida, where Florida is known more for its wide receivers, skill position guys, wide receivers, its DNs, it's cornerbacks, defense, safeties, etc. So that's why I think that's where it goes. But like I said, even Miami itself has had, Ken Dorsey from California, Testaverde was from New York, Jim Kelly was from Pennsylvania, Brad Kaya, from California also, Ja'Cory Brown from Georgia. So Jake Garcia also from Georgia, Foreman from California. Again, you get the picture. So that's where I think that's the reason why AJ Hairston is flying under the radar. But if Miami is able to pick this kid up, this is, again, another diamond in the rough. And I do believe that he will be a successful quarterback. He reminds me a bit of Stephen Morris, because Stephen Morris, was a kid, a little bit. Stephen Morris had a bit of a bigger arm, but Stephen Morris was tall and, was pretty athletic as well. Although I do think AJ might be a little bit more athletic because, he has, the footwork from both basketball and baseball, that help him out with the football ingrained. But he does give me a bit of a Stephen Morris type of vibe. I actually like Stephen Morris, so I don't think that's a bad comparison. So that's a little bit about that. So again, a Florida bias, but once again, Miami is recruiting this kid. They have given him an offer. Miami is the only school to have offered AJ Hairston, and I think that's a good sign because it shows AJ that Miami really wants him. So I think so Miami's in pretty good shape for this kid. Just before I wrap up, I do want to say that, again, I will be bringing you some recruiting news in the near future. Okay, there was a crystal ball for Chance Robinson out of St. Thomas Aquinas. I will be doing an episode on Chance, again, a lone episode, and I will be bringing you some Heat coverage after the Chicago Bulls game. And we might be having a guest on the show to talk some Heat basketball real soon. I'll confirm it when the date is set. All right, everybody, that's it for me. If you like what you heard, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to 305 Sports Now. Once again, I will stay safe. God bless. See you soon. Go Canes. Bye-bye.